sugar check, okay? Type 1 diabetes changes every single routine. It brings out a level of vigilance for me. I have to think about every move. I am just thinking about the number and thinking about her next step. And it's a never-ending circle. Good job.
I think the toughest part looking back is that there were red flags and none of them got answered. And there were alerts that should have gone off that this could have been avoided.
Everything started when she turned 5. Kennedy would pass out during exercise. She would have accidents with how much she was drinking.
Falling asleep at random times throughout the day.
Bruises that weren't healing that had been there for a month. We saw specialists, we saw doctors, but every single time, everything came back clear.
Good job, baby. Good job. I'm proud of you.
It was right after she turned 6 that everything went full force. I remember we scheduled a little one-on-one play date. She had a dress on that day. My mom was with me. And her bones were sticking out in her back. And my mom looked at me and I just said, I don't know how to fix her. There's nothing like your mom looking at you and tell you it's time to step up. Your child needs you. And I had no answers. I had no way to, we started going back to the doctor.
So that's when I kind of said, when you go, have her test her blood, have her test her urine, because I knew that they would check her blood glucose.
That wait was really long. 2 nurses and the pediatrician came back into the room, and they just said they needed to talk to me privately. And she said that your daughter most likely has type 1 diabetes, and you need to drive to the emergency room right now. I don't remember the drive. The next thing I know is they were running out, screaming Kennedy's name, and trying to locate us. Everybody was attaching cords to her. Monitors were going off. I was hearing words like stat and keep moving and check her vitals.
I was scared and I sound different and I really look different.
And I remember looking at the doctor and he said, type 1 diabetes is so fast and it is so complicated. If you had not come in with Kennedy's levels, that she probably wouldn't have woken up.
You know, you walk in, you see that, you're just terrified as a father. You're like, what do I need to do to get her out of here to make this better?
We were in a crash course, from ketones to monitors to devices to blood sugar ranges, carb ratios, everything you can imagine about type 1 diabetes, all day, every day.
You're just racking your brain and trying to figure out and look up as much as you can.
And we knew we needed an extra layer of protection.
And that's when, like, the bells started to go off for me as a parent with the type 1 alert dog.
He was already in our home. He already knew she stood out to him.
Kona does a great job of alerting. He's a very well-trained dog.
His job is to alert me when I'm high or low.
They've become partners. Everything we do, Kona is right there with us. I can't believe it, but a blood sugar check doesn't happen if Kona doesn't come.
Kona, touch.
It just makes like a scary situation, which is what type 1 diabetes is. He just makes it fun and he makes it funny, and he always somehow finds a way to cheer her up.
He always picks me up from school, and sometimes when he's not in the car, he runs to the door when he hears the door open to see me.
Before diabetes, she was able to really compete at a high level in all of the sports, and I coached her in soccer. I was tough on her. And so that's what I beat myself up about, that I was so hard on her. Then after she'd been taking insulin and getting what she needed, it was like a whole new kid was invented. Like, she had her energy back, she had her speed back. To see her run down and go score and just run around and get all excited was like the greatest part. It was really, really like a cool thing. I'm like the soft one.
1, 2, 3.
This year, Cameron just turned 5. And it is so hard for a parent to see a healthy child thriving at the exact same age that your other child's world was flipped upside down. I screened him initially right after Kennedy's diagnosis. Not a single doctor made this information available to us. I wish that this was more known. I wish there was more knowledge about this.
When we went down to my grandmother's 90th birthday is when we had learned that it was actually family members that had type 1.
They had no idea that it could be passed down and that family history was a very important conversation to have. I think my biggest advice to a parent that is questioning if T1D is a possibility in their child's future would be to just start asking questions and start talking to your doctor. And I know it's a good fit for my family because of the family history we have, leading to an elevated risk for Cameron. Having that conversation early matters more than you think. Because if we had more time and if we had talked to our family and done it the right way, then maybe Kennedy's story would be a little bit different. That's why I'm so grateful for this opportunity to partner with Sanofi to raise awareness about the importance of screening for type 1. I would encourage everyone to know your risk and make a plan. Talk to your doctor about screening for type 1 diabetes.